Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game all about building a record collection called Vinyl. Vinyl is a 1 to 5 player game where players are taking on the roles of record collectors, and they're trying to go to this store to get certain types of records that are different genres, maybe the same genre. That might be limited edition, they could be mint condition, they could be from a certain decade. You're trying to build a collection in a certain way where you can score more points than other people who are building their own collection. You're going to do this through some worker placement, through some hand management, like Ticket to Ride style card play, where you're trying to collect cards to meet certain criteria to get the records. And there's also going to be some worker bumping, which is pretty neat. And, wait for it, guitar meeples. So let's go down to the table and just check out how this game plays. Okay, so here's a game of Vinyl. Base game, no expansions. All set up for 3 players. I'm going to go over setup really quickly, and then I'm going to jump in. Keep in mind, I may miss some rules because there's a lot going on. It's big. I'm just trying to show you how it plays. I may not show you all the rules exactly, or I may miss some up. But the gist of the game that I'm going to show you is going to be correct. So let me go over setup. So each player is going to get a player board, which is going to look like this. It's going to have one side for the base game, and it will have another side if you're playing some of the expansions. So we're playing the base game, so it goes on this side. Each player can have a disco meeple of the color, in this case green, or if you have the fancy version, you can use a guitar meeple. So that's what this player is going to do. Then you're going to give each player 3 gold cards. You can do a draft, or then they can just get rid of 1 and keep 2. Gold cards are end of game scoring of type of records that you're trying to collect. Then you give somebody the first player. Whoever's first player is getting 5 cards. The last player gets 7, and everybody else gets 6. So in this case, this player that I'm showing you gets 6. You're going to get the magazine cards. You'll get those all out, shuffle them up. There'll be some wild, so you have to take some of those out. Then you'll put them up there, flip 4, kind of like Ticket to Ride style. You'll put the rest of the gold cards over here. I think that's where they go. I'm not 100% sure, but it works. You'll set up the initial store record bin. It says in the rule book that each row is supposed to be a different genre, but I just like to do it randomly because it makes it a little more challenging. So you'll put each row, either one genre in each row, or you will just randomly put them out there, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to separate the goals. These are the tokens that you're trying to collect. What are they actually called? Collection rewards. So you're trying to get pure collections, mixed collections, and double mixed collections. And as more of these are taken, they're going to be worth less points. So the first one is worth the most, so on and so forth. And that's how we're going to play. So at the heart of this game, it's a worker placement game. One more piece of setup. You're going to put the rest of the records in this cool little record crate. And it's going to be separated based on the number of players by salespeople activities and then a store closing activity. So I've done that. I probably won't go into this too much, but it's going to basically be the in-game trigger when all the records are gone. So that's kind of sit that over there. All right. So the way this game works is it's a worker placement game. You're going to take your little meeple. You're going to go to one of the bottom actions. The top action is a bump out action, kind of like in the Gallerist or some game or Viticulture, something, I guess Euphoria. You go there, you bump somebody out, you get to take an action. All right, so there are different places you can go. You can go up here, you get to take some of these magazine cards. Magazine cards are how you're going to get records, and I'll explain more of that when I go into it. You're going to go over here to put a card in layaway or take some gold cards. You always have to have 2 gold cards, so this is going to let you draw 1 and then keep, I think you get to draw 1. Let me look at that here. You get to draw 2 from the deck, and then you can discard 2 because you're only ever allowed to have 2. So that's just a way to get new gold cards that maybe fit your collections better. Here is where you're going to go to actually buy records. So I can go here, I can put a record in layaway, which I might explain, or I can buy a record using magazine cards from here, or I can go down here to the sale bin and I get a discount on these because they're old and the store wants them to go away. I believe that's all the spots, and that's all the spots. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to play through maybe 3 or 4 rounds, and you'll kind of get the gist of it. I'll try to get a collection reward, but I may not, because sometimes that takes a bit. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing you're going to do is when it's your turn, you're going to take your worker, and you're going to put it somewhere to do some things. So let's see what kind of cards this player has. All right, so if you look at these cards, they're going to have a genre. Here, let me just show you one card. The cards are going to have a genre, which is right there. So it's jazz. Then they're going to have other attributes on them, like mint condition. There could be limited edition. They'll have a decade. And I think there's one more thing. Nope, that's it. So those are the 3 things. And they're also going to have, that's it. So that you're going to use these cards to collect these cards. So I'm going to show you how that works right now. So I'm going to go to here. So I can take a card and put it in layaway. What that means is I have to take a card that matches one attribute of a record I'm putting in layaway. I put the card and the record in my layaway space on my board, and I can only have one in there. So I don't really want to do that right now, so I'm not going to. So I want to start trying to get a pure collection, which I will explain when I get there. So, and I noticed there are a bunch of guitar rock, I guess, out here. So I'm going to try to take something. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. This needs a guitar and 60s. So I have a guitar and 60s, because you have to match all icons on the card to take it. So I discard that. Then I take this record. It goes in one of my 2 active collection spaces. You can only have 2 active collections. So I have 1 collection here and 1 space here. So unless I get rid of one to score points, I have to keep working on these collections. Then these will all slide down. And then a new record comes out of the top. And that is my turn. All right, so then it will be, oh, it wasn't even this player's turn. Whoops. All right, we'll say this player's first, sorry. Disregard. All right, so then this player's turn. So now these players have different card amounts. Doesn't matter. This player should have gone first, but I messed up, so that's what happened. All right, so now, let's see. You have a max hand limit of 10. This player's going to come over here to the sale bin. All right, so what this means is I can buy one of these for 1 attribute less. I have to play the genre, but the attributes, I can play 1 less. So in this case, since they only have 1 attribute, I can just play the genre. So I will play, I want that 50s pop. So I'm actually not going to pay the discount. So I'm going to play a 50s pop card, but I didn't have to. I just had to play pop. Oh, that's true. It has limited edition. So I'm going to play 50s pop. I'm not going to pay the limited edition because I get a discount for that. I'll take this card, and it will go into my active collection. We'll get a new record, slide down into the sale bin, and get out another record. All right, and that was that player's turn. So let me show you about records really quick. So if you look on the record, they have a point value right here. They're going to have a decade. They're going to have a publisher, and they're also going to have, and that's it. They have a publisher and a decade. So if you look at this card that this player has, they want to get albums from the early decade. So they should have really taken this one because it would have been towards their in-game scoring, but they didn't because this is early decade, this record is early decade. So that's how the records work with the in-game scoring. So now it's this player's turn. They're going to go ahead and put their meeple out. Let's see. They're going to start collecting jazz. So they're going to go... Let's see. I'm going to show you a bump out. So they want to go to the sale. So this player's getting bumped. So this player's going to the sale. I got to remember which guitar is which. So this one is that. The acoustic is this one, and a double neck. Okay. All right. I might forget that, but that's fine. So they're going to do jazz. So they're going to get this one. They get 1 attribute discount, so they only need the genre. So they're going to play this card for the genre. They will take this card, put this in their collection, and we'll put a new record in the sale bin, get a new album out. All right, so now since the other player got bumped, the action that they're allowed to do is they're allowed to take 1 card of the cards that the other player played to buy that card. So since this is the only card, they're going to take it, put it in their hand. And that is their turn. All right, so that's the end of that. Back to this next guitar player is this one. So, okay, so you don't have to move from the space you're on if you want to continue to buy albums, unless you're in the sale bin. You can't stay there for more than one round. So this player could stay here and do this action again if they want to. So I think they will. I'm actually going to show you a layaway action just because I want you to be able to see that. So I'm going to put something in layaway. All right, so I'm going to put this album in layaway. Now let me show you how that works. So to put an album in layaway, you need to match one attribute to put it in layaway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this rock card in the mint condition. So that'll actually be 2, but I'll be 1 off. So I'll take this card with this record. They'll stay together. And I will put them in my layaway space right there. So once I get a 60s card, I have to go to a space, which is a bump out action, and I can put my layaway card into my collection. And that's how that works. All right. So that was that player's turn. This slides down. New album. Whoops, too many. Okay, got a new album. Then it will be this player's turn. They need to get more pop. But if they can get something else with 50, ooh, yeah, let's try that. All right, they're going to try to get this one. So they want to go there. So they're the acoustic. They're going to bump this player out. So they're going to try to get that into their collection. So they need a guitar, 50s, mint, which they cannot. So they're going to put something in layaway as well. They want to put this one in layaway. So they're going to use this rock card with mint. And that's going to put this one in layaway because they don't have all the necessary pieces that are needed for it. And then, because this player got bumped, they can do, well, one thing. They can't take a card from the player that played a card, so they could draw a card from the top. Or they can put their card that's in layaway into their collection. So let's see if they can do that. So they need to have a 60s card. They cannot, so they're going to draw a card at the top. When you can't take a card from the player, you get a draw from the top. And they drew 50s country. All right, so that's their turn. We'll put a new record in. And then it will be this player's turn, which is the double neck. They cannot stay there. They have to move somewhere else. So where they want to go is they want to... they're going to take some magazine cards. Let's just take the sax and take one off the top. You're allowed to take 2 when you go up there. And that's their turn. Back to this one. So they're bumped out, so they have to go somewhere else because you can't stay in the bumped out action. So they're going to go down to the sale bin. Maybe. Do they have any 60s cards in their hands? Nope. So they're going to go down to the sale bin. They want to try to buy another card. So let's see if they can get some more rock 60s. They cannot. I need rock real bad, but I only need rock, but I need to have... Oh, that's not a good idea. I don't want to go there. So I'm actually going to go up here to the magazine rack. I can take 2 cards. I need a 60s. And then I need... take one off the top. And I got a pop 60s. All right, so this player got bumped out. So what they get to do is they get to swap out gold cards, or they can take a card at the top. So they're going to take a card at the top. They got country 60s. And that is the double neck. All right, now we're going to the acoustic. They might stay there, see if they can get some more records. I at least want to show you how to score a collection bonus. So let me see if I can do that. So I need pop with limited edition. Is there any of that? Yes, all right. But I don't have 60s, dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. How about sax, jazz, and limited? Yes, I could do that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. It'll be a mixed collection. So that way, yeah. So we're gonna go down here to the sale bin. So I can get a 1 discount from this. So I'm going to play Jazz Limited Edition and a Jazz and Mint. I'm going to use my bonus for the 60s, and I get to take this card. I'll put this in my same collection. So this is essentially it's a mixed collection right now. So the way a mixed collection work is every other record has to be a different genre, and I'm trying to get at least one attribute that's the same. So in this case, limited edition. So if I can get one more, I can score, and I'll show you how all that works. So we're moving another record down into sale and getting another record out there. All right. So now it is double neck. Let's see. They want some Jazz 60s, which they have. Yes, so sweet. So they're going to come down here. They're going to go, they want this one, Jazz 60s with limited edition. Actually, they're just going to take that, Jazz 60s. So they're going to play Jazz with limited edition and country and 60s. That will let them take that card, or that record. So they'll take this one, if I can get it out. And this will be their second Jazz. All right, slide down. New record. That's their turn. Back to first player. So they want Rock 60s limited edition. Can I get any of that? Yes, I can. But I don't have limited edition. Dang it. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to draw 2 cards off the top. So I got Jazz 50s and a Wild. All right. So the way the Wild works is it's the genre, but then it's any other attribute that I want. So that's going to be good for me. All right, so I'm done. Then it is the acoustic guitar player down here. I guess it's a hollow body. They have to move. So they're going to come up here because they should be able to buy a record, I'm assuming. We'll see, hopefully. But they can't do, nope, they can't go there. Just kidding. So they're going to come up here. They're going to take some cards. So they need limited edition and they need some other genre, which I have. And I need 60s. Let's get 60s. So I'm going to draw 2 off the top. Yeah, I got boot and 60s. All right. Country and 60s, and I'll take this one. So I'm done. Whoops, I didn't pick up all my cards. So I'm done. I bumped out this player. So they're going to go ahead and take a card at the top. Then it's this player's turn. They need a sax and 60s. Can they do that? Can they do that? Sax and 60s. Ooh, yes they can. No, they can't. So I need to take a sax card. So I'm going to come up here. If you get bumped out at home, you just send your meeple back home. So I'm going back up there. I need a sax. So I'm going to draw 2 off the top. I got pop. And I got rock. Dang it. So nothing there. The hollow body's going to take 1 off the top. They got the sax. All right, back to the Flying V, or the Falcon. They're going to, they have a pile of cards. So they want Rock 60s. Limited. All right, so they're going to come here. They're going to buy a card, so they're going to use this for limited. I don't have any limited cards. Yeah, so this is boot. This is going to be used for the limited. This is the 60s, and this is the rock. I'm buying this album right here. It's going into my collection. All right, these cards get discarded. I didn't bump anybody out. These slide down. Oh. All right, and then it is Hollow Body's turn. They're going to, they want to get their collection here. And so they need something 60s. Something 60s. Rock 60s. Yeah, they'll roll with that. So I'm going to play this. Okay, so they're going to come here, bump this guy. They're going to play rock, guitar, and boot with 60s for rock 60s. And they are going to take... Oh, nope, just kidding. Dang it. I need limited. Rock, is there anything limited? Yes, I can do that. Country 60s limited. So country and 60s. And then I'll play this country with the limited to meet all the icons. And I will take, where is that? Right here. Country 60s limited. All right, so let me explain what happens now. So whenever you can retire a collection at any time, and what that means is you're going to score them. So the way this works is I have a mixed collection with a single attribute that's the same. So I have 3 different genres, 3 limited editions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score the top of this one with a mixed 3, and it's going to give me 4 points at the end of the game. So I'll go ahead and put that up there. These get retired. They go over here into the retired section, right here, face down, and now they're worth points at the end of the game. And that's how that works. And then I bumped out this player, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's this player. So they're going to try to put their card from Layaway into a collection. They need 60s, so they're going to go ahead and play this card for 60s. Get rid of this card. And these now go, this now goes into my second collection because I don't want to put it in that one because I want both the same icons. All right, so that was this player's turn. Now it's this player's turn, and this will be my last turn because you'll get the gist of everything that happens. So they're going to, they want to get saxophone in 60s. Is there any sax? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Saxophone 60s. They don't have any saxophones. Dang it. All right, so what they're going to do is they're going to put something in Layaway. So they're going to come down here, bump this one out. This one comes home. They're going to put this card in Layaway because that's what they want. So they're going to take this and use a sax in and the 60s or a limited edition. So I'm going to play 60s. I'm going to play the 60s, and I'll put the 60s on it to put it in Layaway. And put that right there. The rest of the cards go away. And then this player can take one that was played. They didn't play any cards, so they're going to maybe put something in Layaway of their own, or into a collection of their own. Let's see. I need 50s and limited. And I have it. So I'm going to play these 2 cards, 50s and limited, to get the 50s and limited that I need for this and put this into my collection. And it's out of Layaway. And that's how you play vinyl. There's more to it. You're going to keep playing until you hit the end of the store closing, the third or however many players there are separators. And then you're going to add up points, do your in-game scoring, and whoever has the most points is the winner. So let's go up to the top, see what we think about it. All right, so that was vinyl. First off, I'm just going to jump right in. This was a super fun game. It's essentially a worker placement game with some set collection and some hand management, but it has a cool theme of building a record collection, and that is something that you don't see every day in a board game. So let me jump right in about what I like about this game and the things that I don't really love. So I'm going to get started with some things that I like. The first thing that I like is I like the way the records are portrayed. On the back, it has a cool album cover. There are different types of album covers for the different types of genre. That's jazz. This is country. And then on the front, it has the same album, but it has the attributes and the genre that you need, and some in-game scoring goes down here. So everything's really easy to see. They're really, some of them are like parodies of no actual bands. And some of the expansions, it's doing like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest stuff. Actually, there's Judas Priest right here. Or Kiss. This is a Kiss parody, actually. So here's a bigger piece of it. Smooch, Kiss, you get it, yeah. So it's parodies of actual bands, and I kind of dig that. I like these guitar minis / meeples. They're a bunch of different shapes, so that's like the Falcon or Thunderbird or something like that. There's a hollow body, and my favorite, the double neck. There are 3 more, I think, or 2 more that I didn't use, but that's pretty cool. I also really like this. This is a cool component. The record bin, it has all the records in there, the separators. You just build it. It's really neat. The magazine cards, they do the trick. Looks like a magazine on the back. It has very clearly on the front what genre it is and the attributes that it has. Really easy to tell what's going on in here. So I like that. These record collection bonuses are really cool. They just look like a record, and they have points, and you flip it over, and then same thing just on the back. I like the way the board looks. Everything's laid out very nicely on it, and the icons are really nice on what you can do when you go to the spot, what happens when you get bumped out. Everything's laid out. The record bin looks really cool. The sale bin section is cool. I like that there's a 1 to 3 player side and a 4 to 5 player side. That's really nice. Now let me go to some cons. First con, if you look at this, they spelled anthology wrong. It's anthology. That's something that should have been caught in testing. Even on the back, it still says anthology. So that's something that I didn't like. The other thing I didn't like is more a part of the gameplay, and I just felt like it was lacking something. Like, when I was getting this game to review, I was super pumped about it. I thought, man, this is going to be amazing. I want to collect records. It's going to be so fun. But then it's essentially like one step up from Ticket to Ride. So it's lighter than I wanted, not necessarily a problem. But with the amount of setup that you're doing and the amount of stuff that there is, I wanted more from the game. Not a problem with the game, problem on my expectation. So let's chalk that up to my expectations were something that this game is not. So if you like family weight games, you like Ticket to Ride, and you want something a little bit more than that, I definitely recommend Vinyl. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a Board Game Mechanics accepted seal. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5, so 7 out of 10 on BGG. And this will be a game that I'll definitely play with anybody whenever they would want to play it. I still haven't played any of the expansions, so I'm hoping that some of them are going to make me like this a little more. Because on the board, there's a little thing that looks like a ticket stub. It's actually going to give you some extra things to do in the Metal, Masters of Metal version. Might just jazz it up a little bit, but still same premise of the game, but might give you a few more mechanisms to help me make this game have legs. So yeah, that's Vinyl. I dig it. If you want to go pick it up, I'll put a link to Talon Strikes in the video description or Amazon or something. There'll be some kind of sale link in the description for you to go check it out. So I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.